of season 2 of Root Read.
Season 2.
I hope everybody is enjoying season 2 thus far. All 5 of you enjoying season 2 thus far. That joke isn't old. I found a great thing, Mike. Mike, guess what I found today?
What did you find, Josh?
I found that Aldi. So here's the situation with Aldi, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, dude, Aldi's is awesome. That's a.
Aldi,
I meant to tell you about that.
Aldi, I highly recommend an Aldi. Bring a quarter.
Yes, for the shopping cart.
But if you go to Aldi with a quarter, which is we always shop at Aldi. I found the other way doesn't work as well. Have you found that, Mare? Have you ever tried to shop at Aldi without a quarter?
I've never been to an Aldi's before.
Dude, Aldi's is it's German-owned, Mare.
What?
Is it really?
Yes, it's a German grocery store. It really is.
It's not.
It is, Josh.
That sounds.
To Aldi's. We have all of your cheap grocery needs.
Okay, so here's the situation, ladies and gentlemen. Aldi is wonderful because Aldi, I don't know how they do it. They make everything. Here's how they do it. They make everything wholesale because they make all their own food, and then they have like 2 people
cart use.
Yes, communist cart use where you have to put in a quarter. Well, that's actually more capitalist than the other way. But here's the situation: is that Aldi has one person working at Aldi at any given time. So the line is like as long as you can possibly think, long ass Aldi line. But everything's so cheap, and everybody goes there.
Cut cod.
It's so cheap. It's like $20 buys you food for the week.
Yeah,
and I'm not even kidding. Good food, not garbage. Like you can get like fresh vegetables and fruits at Aldi. You can get anything at Aldi that you could possibly want. Even a vacuum cleaner. I found a vacuum cleaner at Aldi. Anyway, my biggest problem with Aldi has been, ladies and gentlemen, and this is all leading up to Die Hard. Trust me, it ties in. Is that Aldi hitherto I have not been able to find coffee at Aldi because there's a special section. There's a limited time item section. You know what I'm talking about, Mike?
I haven't been in there a long time, but I hear what you're saying.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, oh my gosh, you Aldi noob. There's a limited section to get excellent limited items, and so like I thought that was the only place to get coffee at Aldi, and there is cinnamon dolce blend and mint blend at Aldi, but I was like, this is not traditional coffee. Like, why are these the only 2 options? This is crazy. Lo and behold, little did I know, if you go into the corner of Aldi, there's a whole section filled with coffee. Somehow I missed this. I've been eating cinnamon dolce and this other garbage. I was like, this is not the way to eat. Like, Aldi has everything else, but Aldi needs to get his crap together regarding the coffee situation. Lo and behold, I was the one who was at fault. So, whoever was at Aldi, I sincerely apologize. It may help to put a giant sign that says "Coffee this way, you idiot." Like, you can do that, that'd be great. But aside from that, I'm very proud of them. And then, so anyway, if you go to Aldi and you're wondering how do I purchase coffee, ladies and gentlemen, this is how. Go to the coffee section. It's a whole section. There's coffee. They even have it like they sorted by region. I'm not kidding. They have like a map showing the coffee. It's like it's really hardcore. You would never expect it. It's like this really nerdy girl that like works in a library, and all of a sudden she just takes off her glasses, and you're like, oh my gosh, why are you on the runway? You know, that's the situation with all these coffee. You didn't realize that all these coffee is actually fantastic, and you're just an idiot. That's all it is. So. Anyway, I have my Girl Scout cookies and my coffee. Here's how it's going to. Okay, Clayton, Clayton, whoever your last name is, I'm not going to say. Okay, Clayton Cublow.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. The situation is, I need to find my Girl Scout cookies, and then we're going There we go. All right, so. I do.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, this moment brought to you by Aldi Girl Scout cookies. $2.
Cheap coffee.
Does not support the Girl Scout Foundation, but at this point, do you really want to support the Girl Scout Foundation? I'm not a big fan of Girl Scouts. Awana Club.
Awana for
life. Here's a question: if you know, oatmeal cookies are made out of oatmeal, and chocolate chip cookies made out of chocolate chip. You know, you see where this is going, Mike?
Yes.
What's the logical conclusion?
Are Girl Scout cookies made out of Girl Scout?
I was gonna say are peppermint sandies made out of sandy.
Well, I've never heard of peppermint sandy, you fiend. I've heard of pecan sandies. Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah, that would be accurate.
Peppermint is different. It's an elephant and elephant soup.
Guys,
ladies and gentlemen, if you missed last week, we are on scene 177 of Die Hard. There are no Girl Scout cookies in Die Hard. There is no coffee in Die Hard.
I thought it was 133. It's 177. Okay.
Oh, I thought we were on 177. We didn't get very far last week because it was like the first week Clayton was back.
That was.
We're gonna get way far this week, ladies and gentlemen. We're hoping to finish Die Hard screenplay this evening. If you can't, you get as far as possible.
I would say that since it's 10 o'clock, then I have to wake up at 4 o'clock.
Right, so that means we have.
It's not ideal.
That means that we have 6 hours. JK. We'll see if we can make it. We'll see if we can make it an hour. If not, if you feeling tired, you got to let us know. Give a holler, and we will support your going to bed because we started mad late. We were supposed to.
That was. I won't let that happen again next week. I will not.
Yeah.
That will
if
not.
you hear the sound of then you know I have to go to bed.
Okay, that's a good sign. That's honest. Ladies and gentlemen, this moment is brought to you by Mare. Say hello, Mare.
Hey.
Hey, Mare. What are you playing this week?
Oh, I think you guys said last week that I'm doing Holly McLean and The Henchman and Ellis.
So basically, you're playing. Who are these people? Do you want to refresh their memory? What's going on in our story thus far?
Holly McLean is
synopsis,
the. If I remember correctly, even though I don't think I've ever seen this movie, Holly McLean is the.
Wait,
no,
what?
I haven't.
Wait, pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
Wait.
How the heck have you not seen Die Hard?
I know.
It's criminal. It's criminal. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you. Actually, I've never seen this before. So.
It takes real dedication to not see such a mainstream movie. I know.
I know. Every time somebody's like Twilight, I'm like, not about that. And then I just go watch them all in one sitting.
Did you really, Josh?
We made it to New Moon, and I was like, this is not a good. This is not a good in a bad in a good sort of way, like The Room. This is like a next level boring, horrible.
Yes, it is.
Another level of terror.
I like to watch you sleep. I feel protective.
We were over and under bets as to how many awkward stairs there would be in each.
Oh god.
We did. We had an over-under betting pool regarding the stairs.
We were all of us underprepared for just how awkward that film can be.
So,
right.
Do you ever watch?
But getting.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, do you ever relate to Edward? You know, Josh, do you ever watch Betsy fall asleep and tell her, "I feel protective because I'm here"?
I don't ever say that. I just convey that with my stare. You know? And one time, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but one time I really wanted a romancer, so I invited all my friends over for a baseball game, and we just played baseball in the woods. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
It was great. So, anyway,
a regular Ethereal.
I don't know what that is. Is that a reference to Twilight? Because I do not know the lore, really. Full confessions. If you want to see a real vampire movie, watch Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh yes. With Gary Oldman.
Epic movie. Gary Oldman
Or
as
perhaps
Dracula.
going a little bit further back in time, Nosferatu.
Interview with a Vampire.
Nosferatu, Interview with a Vampire, any one of those. Or the original OG 1931 Dracula with Bela Lugosi is also great in its own way. It's not as good as Nosferatu, obviously, and not as good as Interview with a Vampire, but man, oh man, it is something to see. The Spanish one is also interesting because did you know they shot a whole different one for the Spanish audience? Okay, I digress. This is getting way out of hand. We are not talking about Dracula. We are not talking about Aldi or coffee. Or the fact that Mare has not seen Die Hard, which is somewhat criminal, but that's okay. This will be enhance her reviewing experience the first time. All right.
Yeah, I actually tried to sit down and watch it, but I couldn't find it on Netflix, so that failed.
Mare,
yeah.
you gotta rent it on YouTube, or better yet, get an Amazon Fire Stick and jailbreak that thing.
Yep. Yep. Or get a VPN. Yeah, or you can get a VPN. Just saying.
Or get a VPN then jailbreak it so they can't track you. Go to the dark web and get all the real diehards.
You could download it in Africa like I do. Or go to Saudi Arabia if you really want to be devilish.
Saudi Arabia. You know, I don't like calling it Saudi Arabia. I just like calling it Arabia. I'm not a big fan of the Saudi people. By the Saudi people, I don't mean the people. I mean the ruling family. You're just gonna instantly point to that. I am not a racist. I love Arabian people. That's not what I mean.
Like those Saudi people.
The Saudi people mean the Saudi leadership is terrible, and the Arabian people do not have their country.
I can contest with this with Josh. He really is a good guy. I know what he means.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Just so you know,
I'd rather keep to the narrative that my best friend is a racist. So
oh my gosh, you know Lawrence of Arabia is a great movie.
I've missed this. I've really missed this, you guys.
I've missed it too. All
right. I do apologize for the fact that I haven't seen it, but I am trying. I'm trying to make that happen anyway.
This is going to enhance your viewing experience.
It is. It's going to definitely make it more enjoyable. So as it was explained to me, Holly McClane is the estranged sort of ex-wife, or just estranged wife.
Estranged. She's estranged. People estranged when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. I'm sorry. Keep going. Enough wars, guys.
I'm in the woods currently.
Holly McClane is sort of the estranged wife of the main character guy.
John McClane.
John McClane, there you go.
Yep.
Just a New York happy group is a New York kid with a New York dream.
Wait, is he from Philly? He's in a Philly Cup? No, he's in New York Cup.
I'm also doing Ellis, which is the creepy, sleazy guy who's apparently a cokehead.
He's a yuppie. He's a yuppie and a cokehead. And he's like American Psycho with a beard and no personality.
Well, he's like someone you hit on. What's her name all the time?
Basically, he would see him in Jersey Shore.
Yes.
Well,
no, not quite, because he's not bronzed /
I go to fist pump more, Paulie.
I think you'd more see him in Entourage.
Yeah. Entourage.
Just kidding. Okay. I just know the Office reference. I've never seen. Okay.
Perhaps Wolf of Wall Street.
Mike, what are you playing in this wonderful production that's moving at a split?
John McClane, and I was thinking about doing maybe the Robinson guy. I don't know, because unless anyone's got dibs on him. And he's is he the reporter guy?
He is the chief of police operations. Maybe?
Oh, but he's the jerk. Yeah. Does anybody want him? You want him, Josh?
No, I don't. I'll do the stage directions. I prefer doing that. And Argyle.
Okay.
Limo driver.
Then I'll take Robinson unless anybody wants him. Going once.
Cool. So you're Robinson.
Robinson and McClane.
What are you?
I am Hans Gruppe.
Yes.
Hans Gruppe.
Yes.
As well as a couple of the thugs. I'm one of the thugs. I don't remember which one now. I think he's dead already. I'm playing a
sound
thug
effects too, aren't you?
as well as some sound effects, and also the cop dude, Palmer.
What cop?
Palmer, I think is his name.
I thought his name was Powell.
Powell, whatever. The guy who was buying
Urkel's would want to be dad.
Twinkies.
Family Matters.
Twinkies. Supposedly for
Officer Twinkie. That should be his name. Officer Twinkie. It's easy to remember. Officer Twinkie.
Scene 177, an unmarked police car pulls up
not
across
77. Not 77. I think we were on a different scene.
I said scene 177. You need to listen closely.
I thought we were on 133.
Well,
articulation.
Well,
wait, are we on 133 for real?
No, let's just do 177. That sounds right. I think Josh was right, and I think I was wrong.
An unmarked police car pulls up across the street from Nakatomi Building, and a man in a sport coat climbs out. Was that the police siren? That was good. Stocky. His hair a little too perfect. The very fact that he is Deputy Chief of Police Operations on a Christmas Eve gives some evidence to his position in the pecking order. His name is Dwayne T. Robinson.
Yeah, this is definitely not where we're from, but we'll
Hey guys, I think we left off on 133.
Yeah, I think we did too, because this is not sounding
familiar. All right, I guess.
Going back, we're going to rewind the tape.
I'm sorry.
Man, we are doing so good right now.
Hey, this is like extra content for all our fans.
I've been told by 2 of our fans that this is the part of the show they love, is the banter.
They're definitely getting their ample share of banter
behind the scenes.
I'm going to ample your banter, straighten up and fly right here. 133 interior machine floor. The 3 terrorists rush from the roof in hot pursuit. Carl leading the way through the door. Carl points quickly to the left and right where there are a series of rooms. The others checks this. The others checks these. There's a typo. How about that? The others checks these. While Carl approaches the camera, trigger finger itching. Almost immediately, the others return.
Franco?
The others return.
Nothing.
Carl looks puzzled. Then he thinks, mentally retracing McLean's few options. Carl's eyes scan the architecture here, and then suddenly he looks up! The ceiling is crisscrossed with air ducts. He fires a burst into the ducts. In the interior of the air duct, McLean remains motionless. There are three-quarter line size holes inches from his face. Show how close Carl came to nailing him. Sweat covers his face, drips silently onto the aluminum. Carl listens patiently for sound. Just then, the two other terrorists return.
Hold on. Nothing.
Carl hesitates a moment, fighting his instincts before finally turning to go. Suddenly, the duct McLean is in groans slightly under his weight. Carl stops and looks up to the matrix of aluminum ductwork, trying to single out the source of the sound. He steps back into the room, raises his rifle, holding it upright. He presses the barrel up into the belly of McLean's air duct, feeling for weight, the weight of a body. Inside the air duct, McLean sees the indention of the barrel pressing into aluminum 15 feet away. There is a pause, and another 3 feet closer. He can hear Carl's footsteps on the concrete moving slowly below the duct. His eyes are fixed above him on the air duct. Carl presses the barrel up again, still nothing. McLean silently moves his hand, slowly draws his Beretta. The next indentation presses 6 feet away. McLean points his gun downward and waits. Carl stops directly below him. The barrel starts up and just touches the ducts under McLean when Franco returns to the door and calls,
Carl, please, come on.
Carl hesitates, then lowers his gun and leaves. McLean hears the door close, lowers his head. In the safe room, the large LED window in the front of the safe beeps and letters creep by. Access code accepted. We hear a clunk. Camera adjusts to show Theo, who grins. Who's Theo?
Anybody want to be Theo?
Mayor's Theo, right? Mayor's the henchman.
You're right.
Sure.
Yep. Theo's the... Oh, you haven't seen Die Hard. That's right. Camera adjusts to show Theo, who grins. Now his computer screen reads, Lock 1 disabled. Do you wish to proceed? Theo puts goggles on his eyes, holds out his hand toward Christoph like a doctor requesting a scalpel. Christoph gives him a giant drill.
You bet your ass I'm gonna proceed.
That's spot on. That's spot on.
That was good. That was excellent. He turns on the drill. Out. Exterior, Century City. The street is empty, quiet. A lone police, black and white, pulls out of the shadows on a side street, begins a slow cruise toward the Nakatomi building. It's Powell. He's driving alone. Starts at the tower. It seems calm. The glowing lights march in the warmth of the holiday decorations on the street. In the lobby, we see Eddie sitting behind the desk. Powell reports to his radio.
There's a guard inside. No signs of disturbance. I'm going up for a closer look.
He pulls and parks in the front. Meanwhile, McLean's punching out a ceiling vent, drops down in the machine room. The floor is quiet. He goes to the stairwell. Then he goes to the edge of the roof. Suddenly, a tall terrorist, James... James? Really?
James?
That's her...
What a threatening name that is. What a threatening name,
Suddenly,
James.
a tall terrorist, James, moves along the wall and looks over at Powell's car. On the third
Clearly
floor...
the name of a tall person.
Right, James. I mean, that's not a tall person. James, I know a guy. Never mind. It's the interior, third floor. The elevator doors open on Carl, Franco, and Fritz. They step out on the darkened floor. We see the large number 3. They move quickly toward the windows on the Avenue of the Stars side where a terrorist, Alexander... What the heck? These names? Alexander does not strike here. With a bar rifle, B-A-R... Is it B-A-R or
Alexander
bar?
the Great?
Okay, well, he wasn't that great, was he? He got killed at 39, Clayton. Okay, well, he just died without being killed. That's really striking fear. With a bar rifle, I set up a machine gun nest under a half-open window. Directly below him, we see Powell's car. Scene 145. Hans watches from above. He raises his CB.
Hans?
No.
Sorry.
Hans raises the CB radio. He's watching the whole thing.
145, you say?
148.
48.
Ah.
Oh, we're clipping.
Eddie.
In the interior of the lobby, Eddie picks up his CB. He watches Powell, the police officer, coming up the stairs.
Mary, you're Eddie, I think.
You're Eddie. You're the henchman.
Oh, okay. Had a feeling you'd be calling.
Let him in.
Eddie's a little startled, but he moves quickly. Alexander also hears this, and the eager expression fades, but orders are orders. The cop tries the front doors. They're locked. Eddie comes hustling across and unlocks the door with a magnetic card.
Eddie?
Evening, officer. What's up?
We got an emergency call that there was a problem here.
In the interior of the 34th floor, McClane makes his way to the Avenue of the Star side of the building. He enters the boardroom where Takagi was shot. He goes to the windows, looks out on the street. He sees Powell's car.
All right. Where's the cavalry?
Powell walks casually across the slick floor, eyes panning the area. Eddie sits casually watching a game on one of the monitor screens.
Eddie?
Eddie.
Sorry,
or
guys.
Ed. Or Ed.
Sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. We already had the false alarm. You ask me, the damn computer sent you out on another wild goose chase. They've been chasing bugs in that system since they installed it. Aw, shit, come on, I got $50 on you, assholes.
Powell's face shows us he's starting to think he's wasting his time. With McClane, the silent tension is driving him crazy.
Come on. Who's in that car? Stevie Wonder?
He makes his mind. He lifts one of the big chairs and swings it down at the window. The tempered glass whitens on the first blow. James sees the glass whiten below him and shouts into his mic. Heinrich hears all the terrorists hear that. That's a bad idea. McClane draws his chair back for a final hit when a terrorist, Marco, appears at the door. Both men react. Marco already had his gun up. He fires around at McClane. The bullets rip into the tabletop and into the chair. McClane goes down behind the table. Marco smiles. He thinks he's got him. Until McClane pulls a gun on him and says,
Chop it or you're rug stain. Really? That's what he says?
159, boardroom doorway.
Really?
Just then Heinrich, the terrorist, steps into the doorway, sees the situation.
Oh, Marco, attack!
Marco dives sideways, but Heinrich still isn't quick enough. McClane fires twice, and Heinrich drops sprawling in the hallway, machine gun firing blindly until it hits the floor.
Oh.
The hostages can faintly hear the gunshots. Holly pales. All Powell can hear is, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. He stops just a yard from seeing the armed terrorist, turns back.
Screw this.
No. Oh, is it you? Oh, it is you.
Yeah.
He turns back. In the boardroom, Marco springs on top of a huge table. McClane rolls on his back so he can cover either angle, but it's clear that Marco is in a more enviable position. Marco is on the tabletop, slams in a fresh magazine, and smiles. He thinks he has McClane.
Next time, don't hesitate.
He leans the machine gun over the edge. McClane aims directly above him and fires twice into the underside of the table. The bullets rip through the table, and Marco drops beside McClane.
Thanks for the advice.
That's all right. Powell heads for the door. Eddie moves up to lock after him.
Sorry to waste your time. Merry Christmas.
Powell goes out. Interior, 34th floor boardroom, same. McClane rolls out from under the table, goes to the windows, and looks in time to see Powell heading for his car.
Oh no, man, please no!
Desperate, he leans on the glass, which cracks again. On the verge of going, McClane thinks, looks over his shoulder at the body of Marco. In Powell's police car, Powell checks on his radio. Unconsciously, he begins to hum the music he heard in the lobby.
1 Adam 10 to 6421. Yeah. We had a wild goose chase on that 436. Everything's okay here, over. The weather outside is frightening. the dum-de-dee-da delight.
Roger, 1 Adam 10. We thought it was a crank call anyway. Clear to code 8.
Let it snow.
Suddenly, Marco's body crashes onto the hood of his car.
Jeez.
Suddenly, a barrage of machine gun fire from Alexander on the 3rd floor drowns out his call. Powell ducks and flattens against the seat as bullets blow out the front window, covering him in glass. Roger, 1 Adam 10, please repeat, but Powell accelerates in reverse away from the building, keeping his head low and praying he doesn't hit anything as bullets follow him, digging into the asphalt. A half block away from his car runs off the pavement and down a slope, finally bouncing to a jarring halt in the parking lot, which is destined to become a police HQ a few pages from now. That's epic. Powell sits up and clutches the mic.
1 Adam 10 under automatic fire from Nakatomi, requesting immediate backup and SWAT assistance.
Can you do that again with more feeling? He is scared out of his mind.
Yeah.
He is a calm police officer who is good at his job.
He just had his car going reverse about 80 miles an hour and got
He is one of the
upside
best
down.
policemen. You remember this story, Josh. I did.
He has a dead man fall from 30 stories onto his windshield.
He is a calm and in control man.
I consider myself a calm and in control man, and I would freak the F out.
Yes, I would too.
I consider you calm and in control man.
All right. What does McClane say in scene 166, McClane?
Oh yeah. Welcome to the party, pal.
Interior office, TV station, same time. Wide from a police scanner. We taking the action here. All color coordinate and slickness. Richard Thornburg, local TV news reporter, is on the phone to his girlfriend.
Oh, that's who I wanted to be, was Thornburg. Is that okay? And
yeah,
Josh, you should be the police guy. Actually, no. I want to be the police detective. You be the Thornburg.
No. You guys take it. I'm doing the stage directions. And everybody else do everything else. I'm Argyle. That's it. I'm happy with that. Trust me.
Okay. Who wants?
Take the police scanner. That's cool.
Oh, okay. All right, so into the phone. Of course I can get us a table, Wolfgang, and me, we're like that. I interviewed him. Hold on, babe.
Wolfgang.
He covers the mouthpiece because he's become aware of what's coming from the scanner.
Century 30, request access.
Mexico.
Guys, you want to cut through the red tape? They practically turned this car to Swiss cheese.
All right.
He drops the phone, picks up another, shouts.
Mary, this is Dick. I want a remote truck and a crew to meet me at the South Gate in 15 minutes.
Thornburg. Dick Thornburg. Really, guys?
Wait, that's all it said was
machine gun fire.
Wait,
Thornburg hangs up the
damn
second
right,
phone,
15.
runs out of the camera, pans back to the first phone. Woman's voice.
Richard?
My PC broke. Somebody take over. It's restarting again.
All right. Scene 167. Sirens wail as the first few police cars arrive. Josh, when you come in, just interrupt me, okay? Powell sees them, waves them back, points to the third floor. Scene 168. Hostages, Ellis, same. He leans back and closes his eyes, luxuriating in the sound of wailing police sirens. He looks at Holly. Ellis?
I never thought I'd love to hear that sound.
Hans' office, scene 169. Hans, Carl, Fritz, and Franco confer.
Hold on a second, my phone is dying. I need to plug it in. Where's my cord?
The men patiently wait as Hans puts his phone on the charger while the terrorists still plot and conceive a vile plan.
I found meine Kabel. Josh, you know what Mina Kabel's from, right?
It sounds familiar. I don't remember what it's from.
I think a certain movie that just turned 20, I think, this year. With,
it's Big Lebowski?
Exactly.
Attaboy.
I've come to repair Mina Kabel.
That's
Okay, I got it.
yeah.
Good.
Dinah Kabel, that's what you were saying. I was wondering about that. What scene are we on, boys? It's back up.
169, Hans' office, 169.
169, love that scene.
All of you stay at your post. We know that the police action was inevitable. In fact, it's a necessity. So, let them start their feeble efforts. Until then, stay calm. We have the hostages, remember? We are still in charge.
Suddenly, Hans CB cracks to life.
I told all of you, I want radio silence until further...
Intercut, McLean, 34th floor, boardroom. He's got a CB on the table and his cop's notebook is out again. He's already upgraded the number of terrorists to 12, minus 3, 9. Well, I'm glad he can do simple math. That's nice to know. And added other information. As he speaks, he takes ammo clips the dead men dropped, their sidearms, and so on. Gee, I'm sorry, Hans. No one gave me the message. You should have put it on the bulletin board. Anyway, I thought you and Franco and Carl and the other boys might be lonely. Now that I waxed Tony and Marco in their buddy. So I arrived and invited some of the guys from my card game. In the office, the terrorists react startled as McLean name drops. Ooh. How does he know much about?
How nice of you to call. I assume you are a mysterious party crasher. You are most troublesome for a security guard.
Scene 170 in internal, 34th floor on McLean Intercut. Moving down the corridor, now armed with
Marco's machine gun and carrying his kit bag, he seems more lethal.
Sorry, Hans. Wrong guess. Would you like to go for double jeopardy? Know where the stakes are double and the scores really change?
Time out. I don't know. What scene are we on? I do not have 170 on that.
170.
That's 170?
Yeah.
Yep.
Not page, scene. 170. Interior, 34th floor on McLean Intercut.
I gotta find.
No problem. He rolls
Heinrich over.
He rolls Heinrich over and is delighted to find a pack of galoos in the man's pocket. He takes them.
I'm assuming it's a cigarette.
That's what I was thinking. That or alcohol, but I'm gonna go with cigarettes. I think you're right. And pats the dead man's face. Okay, a little weird. Soda to the body. Bad for your health anyway.
Who are you then?
Just the fly in the ointment, Hans. The monkey in the wrench. The pain in the ass. Wow, this script, man. This script is magical. McClane stops mid-speech. He just opened the kit bag Heinrich had over his shoulder when he died. Now McClane takes out the contents, dozens and dozens of explosive detonators marked danger, and a chunk of cello-wrapped plastique the size of an electric razor. He whistles, surprised to himself.
In the office, Hans turns off his mic for a moment. Turns to Carl.
Check on all the others. Don't use the radio. See if he's lying about Marco, and then find out if anyone else is missing.
Hans goes back on the CD. Meanwhile, McClane smiles at the telltale stutter as Hans goes off and on. He knows what's happening. Now he starts to walk down a corridor, eyes panning from elevator to the stairwell doors.
Mr. Guest, are you still there?
I wouldn't think of leaving, Hans, unless you want to open the front door.
I'm afraid not, but you have me at a loss. You know my name, but who are you? Just another American who saw too many movies as a child. Another orphan of a bankrupt culture who thinks he's John Wayne, or Rambo, or Marshall Dillon.
Actually, I was always partial to Roy Rogers. I really dug those sequin shirts. Sequin shirts.
I believe you mean sequin.
I'm trying. I don't come across that word often.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, mother trucker.
McClane goes quietly through the stairwell door and is gone by the time the search party steps onto this floor. Hans sits quietly thinking. Carl steps off the elevator and goes through the crowd of hostages to Hans.
He wasn't lying about Marco. He's 30 stories down on the street.
This is Carl. This is Carl, not Hans.
I don't remember what my voice was for Carl. What was my voice for Carl?
High.
Confident,
let's do a high one.
right?
Confident high.
He was lying about Marco.
Yeah, nailed it.
Please do that.
Please do
That's
that.
so great.
Please do that. Do that.
He wasn't lying about Marco. He's 30 stories down on the street. The other man is Heinrich, and I found his body upstairs. And his bag is missing.
Hans looks alarmed.
He had the detonators. Theo? Theo.
Theo's in the safe room with Christoph. He has drilled 2 holes in the safe and is working on a third. When he hears the CB, he turns off the drill and answers.
That's you, Mayor. Theo.
Yo!
We may have some problems. How is your schedule?
3 down, 4 to go.
Then don't waste time talking to me.
I'll react to a nearby CB transmitter which broadcasts.
This is Sergeant Al Powell of the Los Angeles Police Department. If the person who radioed for help on this channel can hear me, acknowledge this transmission. I say again.
I read you, pal. You've a guy in the car.
Powell stands in front of the destroyed cruiser and looks up at the building. Behind him, technician, City Power, and he talks to McClane over the radio.
What's left of him? Can you identify yourself?
Hans and Carl are listening intently as this conversation takes place.
Oh God, here we go. Maybe later. Just listen fast because this is a party line and the neighbors are trigger happy. Now here's the skinny. There's 30 or so hostages on the 30th floor with probably 2 or 3 guards to cover a group that size. The leader here is named Hans, and besides the pea shooter he's ventilated your car with, they got machine guns and sidearms with up the yin-yang. On top of that, one of them had a big enough chunk of plastic explosive to orbit Kate Smith. Wow, really? Wow.
Who's Kate Smith?
I have no idea. She must have been something in the 90s.
She's a rather large woman.
Is Mike's mic shorting out to anyone else, or is it just me?
I think it's just you.
Okay, good. I don't know where it's then.
Follow the noise. Oh,
Franco?
Franco?
Franco.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have to find him and shut him up. He's telling them everything.
The police are irrelevant. We've been waiting for the FBI. Until they arrive, we cannot finish our work. Meanwhile, that's just full waste time for the police. Fritz, go help Uli find the bag.
These names, wow.
We must find those detonators.
They leave.
How many are there?
Okay. Figuring there's at least one to cover the lobby, a couple with the hostages. I say they came in with about a dozen, but they're down to 9 now, including the skydiver you already met. These guys are mostly Europeans. Judging by their clothing labels, they're well-financed and very slick.
How do you know?
I've seen enough phony IDs in my time to recognize the ones they've got cost a fortune and all that up, and I don't know what that means. But these are badass perps, and they're here to stay. Wow.
You notice that everything McLean has said about clothing IDs and police jargon, etc., set off a little buzzer in Powell's brain.
I hear you, partner, and LA's finest are on it. So light 'em if you got 'em.
I'm ahead of you, partner. God bless.
What do I call you?
Roy.
Got it, Roy. Now listen, if you think of anything else you think I don't know, why, don't be shy, okay? In the meantime, I want you to find a safe place and hold up and let us do our job, understand?
They're all yours, Al. Good luck.
McLean turns off his CB and sits against the wall. Exterior, police operations, night. An unmarked police car pulls up across the street from the Pacatory building. A man in a sport coat comes out. He's a deputy of the Chief Operations Police Department. His name's Dwayne T. Robinson. He's played by our own very merry person.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hint if we should play this person.
Mary, it's all you.
I thought you wanted to be Robinson. I thought you
said you wanted
Robinson.
Yeah.
I'm the sleazy creep officer.
I'm the news guy. You should take Robinson, Mary. It's only fair for roles, honestly.
No worries.
Okay, so who's Robinson?
You.
You're Robinson.
Sleazy, not sleazy per se, but he's like the swanky chief of police who
Kinda cocky.
thinks he knows what he's doing, but is kind of a bumbling idiot.
Yeah. Confident. Overconfident.
Highly overconfident.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this will be number 5 now. I'm trying to keep my voices straight. Robinson. Here.
Doing great.
He's a small character.
How do you guys think Robinson should sound?
Like,
a wimp.
like, oh, really? I was okay. I was gonna say,
I don't know.
Yeah, because he doesn't actually do any work.
yeah, kind of like this, where like I said coffee with 2 creamers.
It's just all talk.
Yeah, I'll talk.
He's the kind of person that does a lot of talking and no action at all.
Yeah,
Plays golf with the mayor, doesn't actually do any work.
kind of like a politician.
Okay.
So
Alright.
then,
Who's talking to them?
that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Who's talking to them? Okay, Powell.
Powell.
No, sorry. I am, sir. Sergeant Al Powell.
Dwayne Robinson. Well, what have you learned? What do they want?
Well, the terrorists? Don't know, sir. Haven't heard a peep from them.
Then who the hell have you been talking to?
We don't exactly know, sir. He won't give us. Be the man who called in the report. He's killed one of the terrorists for sure, and claims to have capped 2 others.
He claims? Powell, has it occurred to you that he could be one of the terrorists pulling your chain, or some kind of nutcase who?
I don't think so, sir. In fact, I think he's a cop. Maybe not LAPD, but definitely a badge.
How do you know?
A hunch. Things he said, like knowing how to recognize a phony ID.
Recognizing phony IDs? Damn, Powell, he could be a freaking bartender for all we know.
Something draws Robinson's attention. He looks at the remote news truck pulling up and parking just beyond the barricades. Richard Thornburg gets out, starts supervising the positioning of cameras. Back to scene.
Oh God.
Robinson.
Oh, crap.
Meanwhile, in the hostage floor, Hans examines building plans at Holly's desk. Behind him, on the TV is on, the sound muted. TV cops triumph over oafish bad guys. Hans looks up at Fritz as Fritz brings in Holly.
I have a request.
Oh, what idiot put you in charge?
You did. You murdered my boss. Now they're looking to me. Personally, I'd pass on the jab. I don't enjoy being this close to you.
Job, but that's definitely a typo.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I were looking at the person.
Go on.
I'd pass on that.
We have a pregnant woman out there. Relax, she's not due for 2 weeks, but a marble floor isn't doing her back any good. I'd like permission for her to move to one of the offices where there's a sofa.
Did they proofread this at all?
No, but I'll have a sofa brought out to you. Good enough?
Good enough, and unless you like it messy, you better start taking us in groups to the bathroom.
Yes, you're right. It will be done. Mr. Takagi chooses his people well, Mrs.
Gennaro. Miss Gennaro.
He nods, thoughtful. She goes out. Han suddenly notices the TV. A slide special bulletin has appeared. Thornburg is talking into the camera.
This is Richard Thornburg speaking to you live from Century City, where Los Angeles has joined the sad world but wide fraternity whose only membership requirement is the awesome specter of international terrorism.
Another TV screen, night. As Thornburg continues, we pull back. We're with Argyle in the backseat of the limo. What else is new? The camera pulls away and we see the Nakatomi building rise behind Thornburg. Holy crap!
I'm just getting this. We're told that the situation became some 2 hours ago when an unidentified party of men took over the building and sealed off all its entrances and exits.
Argyle is already bailing out of the car. Argyle looks at the metal gate, swallows. He jumps back into the car. Argyle pours himself a stiff drink.
Yep. Since all the television lines have been cut, the only contact with the building has been through the use of CB communicators, which terrorists brought with them. Strangely enough, so far the terrorists have not communicated directly with the police, but an unidentified man has had several conversations which seem to indicate...
Argyle nearly spills his drink as he leans over the front seat and turns on the CB. Cuts outside the building at the same time. Signs of activity along the edges and shadows of the area. Men and vehicles. The snap of weapons and breaches. Footsteps running in unison. Powell picks up on this, turns to Robinson, who's standing with a SWAT captain, Mitchell.
What's going on?
Robinson? Mayor?
That's you, Mike.
Hey, Mrs. Robinson.
Oh, crap, that's me. Sorry. What's it look like? We're going in.
Going in? Are you out of your mind? There's 30 hostages in there for all we know.
All we know? We don't know crap, Powell. If there's hostages, why hasn't anyone asked for ransom? If there's terrorists, where's their damn list of demands? All we know is that someone shot up your car, and it could be the same flake you've been talking to on the radio.
What about the body that fell out of the window?
Who the crap knows? Maybe he was a stockbroker who looked at the Dow Jones and opted for early retirement.
Chief, we're ready.
I'm coming.
Rivers.
Yo!
Begin your reconnoiter.
Nice.
McLean, inside the building, sadly realizing that the Marlboro pack has only 2 more cigarettes. He savors the drugs for his current number, and suddenly becomes aware of an almost eerie quiet. He moves to the window. His POV outside. Hints of activity in the darkness. A light flares, extinguished. Shadow moves on trailer walls. McLean, spooked into CB.
Paul, Al, you still with me? What's going on, Al? Al?
I'm here, Roy, but I'm kind of busy. Let me talk later, okay?
Al, what's wrong? Did something... Oh no. You're coming in. That's what it is, isn't it? Pal, I told you what you're dealing with here.
I said we'll talk later, Roy. If you're what I think you are, you should know when to listen, when to shut up, and when to pray.
Hating himself, Powell disconnects, watching lights snap onto the parking lot to illuminate the area. Also hating himself, McLean does the same thing. Pale, he moves to the window to watch what he knows is going to be brutal. In Holly's office, Hans, he switches over his communicator.
They'll be coming. Get ready. CO, watch the screens. Be out of your eyes and ears. Wait until they're close.
Eddie slips away from the desk, a computer card in his hand. He meets up with another terrorist and they move behind a slit in the wall. Eddie waves his car to the sensor and a metal grid crashes into place. They hold their weapons behind it, ready.
Various shots tear us on other floors, all now with earplugs in their CBs taking up positions. Mitchell listens to the CB radio. Rivers says, we're in position. Mitchell says, go. The security cameras catch all the SWAT teams moving toward everybody. Theo smiles. Suddenly we recognize that tune he's been whistling. It's Singing in the Rain. Theo into a throat mic. Mary or Theo?
Sorry.
The black cracker. The black code cracker. Let me start that over. That's what I meant. The code breaker.
Oh no! Oh no! Remember what I just said about Josh and racism?
Well, to be fair, that would be something to see. Can we continue?
Best group read ever.
Theo.
Oh, sorry. I thought there was a part with Rivers and Mitchell.
Nope.
No, we passed that.
Oh, God, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, except for the 4 assholes coming in the rear and standing 2x2 cover formation.
Eddie and another terrorist, Uli, take up prone firing positions using the gaps in the position like gunpoint. Angle on 2 SWAT officers. 33rd floor McCain moves painfully to the window and looks out. He can't see a thing because of the lights.
No.
Suddenly, rifle fire sounds in the building. Robinson.
They're shooting at them.
It's panic fire. They can't see anything.
They're shooting out the lights.
More shots ring out from the building.
They're going after the lights.
Go ahead. Keep going. You're good.
Robinson, keep going.
Call them back.
No, they're almost in. That's the worst leader ever. Suddenly, the 3rd and 4th lights are shot out, and the SWAT men become sitting ducks. Holly's office, Hans. He calmly speaks into his CB.
Sorry.
196.
Don't get impatient. Just wound them.
There you
Eddie
go.
and Yuli fire. They hit one of the officers in the leg. The second one through barricades. And Mitchell and Robinson.
Mitchell? Who's Mitchell?
Oh, that's me. Send in the car. Sorry. Send in the car. James and Alexander quickly load 2 crates
Such
from the
command. Such authority.
Like, oh yeah, my guys are storming the building. Oops. James and Alexander quickly load 2 crates onto the service elevator and push the button for the 3rd floor. As the car starts down, they remove the anti-tank gun from one of the crates. That's not good.
Oh, it's not.
Well, what do we have here? The police have got themselves an RV. James Alexander, southeast corner.
3rd floor, same. The service elevator across the 3rd floor at James and Alexander move across the room toward the window with the anti-tank weapon. At the window, they prepare the weapon for use. Outside the window, the armored car has stopped in front of the wounded man, and paramedics quickly load them in from the shelter side of the vehicle. Alexander quickly sights on the armored car.
I got them.
Fire.
Exterior, the armored car. A blast roars from the 3rd floor window, and the shell hits the armored car. The car pitches forward like a beast whose front legs have been shot out from under it. Its front axle destroyed, unable to move. Alexander looks back at James and grins. 30th floor, Hans. He watches from his window and coldly picks up his CB.
Hit it again.
McClane listening. He picks up his CB.
Hans, you mother trucker, you've made your point. Now let them pull back.
Thank you, Mr. Cowboy. I'll take it under advisement. Hit it again.
McClane slumps to the floor below the window. He feels helpless, then notices his kit bag. James runs back to the crate on the elevator. Mitchell. Rivers, Rodriguez, report.
Rivers?
Nobody's.
This is Rivers. We got 1 dead. Everybody's hit. Rodriguez bleeding dead. We got to get the F out of here.
Rivers, hang on. That's an order now. Hang on. We'll get you out. Interior, elevator, car, 3rd floor, same. James opens the box of shells and takes 2 and starts to cross the room like a football. It's the secretary's chair with casters. We pull back and see McClane press 3 detonators into the top and cover the explosive with a typewriter, tying it securely in place to the electric cord. I love this movie. It's epic. McClane pushes the chair into the shaft.
Oh. Geronimo, mother cluckers.
For a long moment, there is nothing. Then the shaft is filled with light and sound and ungodly roar, and McClane thrown back across the elevator corridor against the other back of doors by the concussion wave. On the 3rd floor, the explosion, like a firestorm, rips across the floor. blowing out the machine gun next to James and Alexander, shattering windows, sending desks, chairs, phones, and typewriters flying. Exit Avenue out of the stairs. The police take cover behind the cars. Powell, Robinson, and Mitchell look like they've seen the face of God. The building rocks from the glass. Henry's cigarettes fall from his mouth as a desk is sent hurtling across Avenue of the Stars and gets across the street. William, watching on TV, feeling it all around him.
I don't know why I find that funny seeing a desk flying in the air to the ground.
Thornburg, news cameraman, in awe.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Unreal. Did you get all that?
Yep.
Eat your heart out, Channel 4.
The hostages are shaken and the terrorists guarding them aren't too sure of themselves either. Only Hans is relatively calm.
They're still using artillery on us.
You idiot! It's not the police, it's him!
Angle on Hallway, circumference Jimmy. Interior, McLean sits and lifts to the CB. McLean.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ow, the guys in the car. Did they make it?
Safe and sound, thanks to you. What the frick was that?
The plastic I found. It's the building on fire.
No, but it's gonna need one heck of a paint job and a crap load of screen doors.
2.
One spotter says you got 2 with that blast.
2. Are you sure? Robinson.
Mayor.
Sorry. Is that him?
Yes, sir.
Reaching for Powell's CD.
Give me that. Now listen to me, Victor. I don't know what you think you're doing, but demolishing a building doesn't fall under the definition of help. There are hundreds of people out here, and you covered half of them in pieces of glass.
Hold on. Sorry about that.
Soundtrack's kicking in.
Okay. Josh, glass my ass. Who is this?
This is Deputy Chief Police Dwayne T. Robinson, and I'm in charge of this situation.
McLean leans tiredly against the elevator door.
Well, from up here, it looks like you're in charge of nothing, Dwayne. I've seen a bunch of stuff, a bunch of screwed up operations since the Bridge of Frankenstein. Ask the guys in the armored car if they mind a little flying glass.
Listen, asshole!
Asshole, I'm not the one who just
It was just Ben.
Oh my god.
It's so much screwed up dialogue. What? Okay. Asshole, I'm not the one who screwed up a national TV, Dwayne. Now, if you're not part of the solution, stop being part of the problem. Get off the radio and put Al back on.
McLean's so furious he's out of breath. Argyle nods in agreement. Tell him, Mr. Mac, tell him. Interior 3034 on McLean, still seating. There's a long pause in the CD. Powell's voice.
Hello, Roy. How you feeling?
Pretty unappreciated right now.
Intercut, Todd Powell. Yeah, there you go.
I love you. So do a lot of the guys. So hang in there, man. Hang in there.
Thanks, partner.
CD close, and this goes on. We're in the studio set.
I know.
Gail in the thing, yeah. Of the Nakatomi building, sources say the terrorist leader Hans may be this man, Hans Gruber. A slide of Hans appears behind her. At the same time, the camera pulls back. We realize we're on the hostage floor, and Hans just blah, 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 turning the CD. A member of the radical West German Volksfrei movement. Strangely, the Volksfrei leadership issued a communique. Wait, I can't even talk. A communique, thank you, an hour ago, stating that Gruber has been expelled from the organization and is operating on his own.
Obviously, Gail, whatever his affliction, it's safe to say that Gruber's terrorist actions in Los Angeles tonight are, well, terroristic.
As the BS continues, Ellis suddenly stands, heads toward the terrorist office. Immediately, the chief guard here, Fritz, moves to intercept Ellis.
Where are you going?
I'm tired of sitting here waiting to see who gets us killed first, them or your husband. Hi there.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, I negotiate million-dollar deals for breakfast. I can handle these clowns. I want to talk to Hans. Hans, frickin' Z talk.
The office. Carl in mid-speech, angry.
I think... Am I Carl? I can't remember.
You're Carl.
Okay.
Carl.
I think somebody's Carl.
Oh, that's right. Why don't you let him kill him when I had the chance?
If you'd listened to me, he would be neutralized already.
I don't want neutral. I want Dad.
I'll
Dad!
turn as a rap on the door. Rap, rap, rap. Ellis is there.
Hope I'm not interrupting.
What does he want?
It's not what I want, it's what I can give you. Look, let's be straight, okay? It's obvious you're not some dumb thug up here to snatch a few purses, am I right?
You're very perceptive.
Hey, I read the papers, I watch 60 Minutes. I say to myself, these guys are professionals. They're motivated, they're happening. They want something. Now, personally, I don't care about your politics. Maybe you're just pissed at the camel jockeys. Maybe it's the Hebes, Northern Ireland. That's none of my business. I figure you're here to negotiate, am I right?
You're amazing. You figured this out all by yourself already.
Hey, business is business. You use a gun, I use a fountain pen. What's the difference? To put it in my terms, you're here on a hostile takeover and you grab us for some green mail. But you didn't expect a poison pill was going to be running around the building. Hans, baby, I'm your white knight.
I must have missed that episode of 60 Minutes. What are you saying?
The guy upstairs who's messing everything up, I can give him to you.
As Hans reacts with real interest for the first time, we cut to Powell by the CB. He suddenly reacts to a groan from McLean.
Roy, you alright?
Yeah, just trying to handle some year-old Twinkies. Ugh, what do they put in these things?
Sugar, enriched flour, partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, polysorbonate 60, and yellow dye number 5.
Only Powell would know such intricate details of a Twinkie. Yeah, not yet. The wife been working on our first. You got any kids
I
back?
think you skipped ahead a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
What's your
I
line?
think you skipped ahead a couple lines.
I am so sorry. You sound like a man with a couple of kids.
Not yet. Wife's working on our first. You got any kids back at the ranch?
Yeah, 2. And I'd sure like to see them swinging on the jungle gym at with Al Jr.
It's a date. You buy the ice cream.
Oh my God. Just cueing that song down.
Yeah.
Top Gun
Touching,
theme, anybody?
Cowboy. Very touching. Or should I call you Mr. McLean? Mr. Officer John McLean of the NYPD.
McLean freezes. How much do they know? Thornburg in trailer reacts gleeful, writes down the name. Thornburg.
Thorson.
Mayor. Get on the phone.
Oh no, that's
Mayor.
Mike. That's
Thorson.
Mike. That's the reporter.
She's right. Get on the phone with our New York affiliate. Move!
Powell reacts signals to aid who's already writing too. McLean and Hans. McLean fighting to stay calm.
Sister Teresa in 3rd grade called me Mr. McLean. My friends call me John Mack. You're neither. Dick.
Well, I have someone who wants to talk to you. A very special friend who is at the party with you tonight.
Oh no.
Hello, John boy.
McLean's eyes open, showing equal parts of shock and hope. In the office, camera adjusts to show Ellis as Hans gives him CD.
Ellis?
Ellis has a cigarette, and a terrorist brings him a Diet Coke.
Greatest
John.
line ever.
They're giving me a few minutes to try and talk some sense into you. I know you think you're doing your job, and I can appreciate that, but you're just dragging this thing out. None of us gets out of here until these people can negotiate with the LA police, and they're just not gonna start doing that until you stop messing up the works.
Ellis, what have you told them?
I told them we're old friends, and you were my guest at the party.
McLean sighs, partially relieved. Hans, meanwhile, narrows his eyes.
What? I got lost. I'm sorry.
McLean Ellis, you shouldn't be doing that.
Ellis, you shouldn't be doing this.
Tell me about it. He looks at Hans and nods at him. Alright, John, listen to me. They want you to tell them where the detonators are. They know people are listening. They want the detonators if they're going to kill me.
Ellis gives Hans a big OK sign. Hans returns it. Please, trailer. On Powell Robinson the same, and others listening intently. McLean closes his eyes and leans his head back again. He knows what is going to happen, even if this poor bastard Ellis doesn't. Ellis's voice.
John, didn't you hear me?
Let's see here.
Just be quietly. To himself.
John, didn't you... Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I hear you, freaking moron.
John, I think you could get with the program a little. The police are here now. It's their problem. Tell these guys where the detonators are so no one else gets hurt. Hey, I'm putting my life on the line for you, buddy.
Don't you think I know that? Put Hans on. Hans, listen to me. That craphead doesn't know what kind of scum you are, but I do.
Good, then you'll give us what we want and save your friend's life. You're not part of this equation. It's time to realize that.
Saying this, Hans takes out his gun, points it at Ellis, smiling. Ellis smiles too.
What am I, a method actor? Hans, babe, put away the gun. This is radio, not television.
That jerk's not my friend. I barely know him. I hate his guts. Ellis, for crying out loud, tell him you don't mean chat to me.
John, how can you say that after all these years? John!
Ellis looks at Hans and shrugs. Well, I tried. Hans nods understandingly. Then he takes out a CB, presses the talk button, and in one frighteningly smooth motion brings the Walther up to Ellis's forehead and pulls the trigger. Cut to interior 33rd floor, McLean. He's expecting a shot, but it still chills him. Holly and hostages, she lowers her head sadly. Around her, the others go crazy as they see Ellis's blood splatter on the glass walls in Hans's office. Interior, Hans's office on Hans. He throws the door open the door to let McLean and the police hear the screams of the hostages.
You hear that? Talk to me. Where are my detonators? Where are they, or I shall shoot another one. Sooner or later, I might get to someone you actually do care about.
Yeah, go screw yourself.
Paul fends off Robinson, who wants the CB.
Robinson.
That's
Mary.
Damn it. Didn't you hear him? He practically pulled the damn trigger himself. He gave that man to them.
Man, can't you read between the lines? He did everything that he could to save him. If he gave himself up, they'd both be dead.
Maybe, and maybe they'd at least be talking to us. Now tell your partner to stay out of it, or so help me if he lives through this, I'll put him behind bars myself.
He's alone, he's tired, he's hunted, and he hasn't seen diddly squat from us, and you think he gives a flying fart about what you're going to do? Robinson, wake up and smell the crap you're shoveling.
Anytime you want to go home, Sergeant, consider yourself dismissed.
No, sir, you couldn't drag me away. Attention, police. Attention, police. This is...
Oh, man.
This is Deputy Chief Robinson. Who is this?
Well, this is Hans Gruber. I assume you realize the futility of direct action against me. We have no wish to further loss of life.
What do you wish for, Mr. Gruber?
Well, I have comrades in arms around the world who are languishing in prison. The American State Department enjoys rattling its saber to its own ends. Now it can rattle it for me.
Listening to this.
The following people are to be released from their captors. In Northern Ireland, the 7 members of the New Provo Front. In Canada, the 5 imprisoned leaders of Liberté de Quebec. In Sri Lanka, the 9 members of the Asian Dawn Movement.
Carl in Soda mouths Asian Dawn Movement?
What? Oh, sorry. Asian Dawn Movement. Asian Dawn Movement?
I read them in Time magazine. When these revolutionary brothers and sisters are free, The hostages in this building will be taken to the roof, and they will accompany us in the helicopters to the Los Angeles International Airport, where you will be given further instructions. You have 2 hours to comply.
2 hours? Are you insane? I can't authorize... Hello? Hello?
Can I just ask one question? He holds a bunch of hostages up to free some captors in a Time magazine article. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, he doesn't really actually care about the hostages. It's about.
You can tell he doesn't care about that. That's the point. He doesn't care about the hostages. He actually
he wants to free some captors from a Time magazine.
He doesn't care about them.
He doesn't really care about them.
That's not the goal. Remember, the goal is something else.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's like a game within a game within a game.
That's right.
It's like Inception 20 years before Inception. Not really though. Not really though.
All right. Good point, guys. Good point. Do you think they'll really even try to do it?
Oh, sorry.
Who cares?
Yeah. Who cares? CO, are we on schedule?
Oh, crap.
CO, are we on schedule?
Sorry, one more to go, then it's up to you. And you better be right, because this one's gonna take a miracle.
It's Christmas, CO. It's the time of miracles, and so be of good cheer and call me when you hit the last lock. Carl, hunt the little shit down and give me those steps.
Funko's checking on the explosives. Fritz is with him.
I'll check on the explosive. You just get those detonators.
McLean, 32nd floor. As he talks, he essentially patrols the floor he's staked out, constantly moving in every dark corner. Gun held ready, moving toward the stairwell.
Oh, Al, are you there?
I'm here, cowboy.
Speaking of cows, did you ever get to hear much of that crap in your life? 2 hours? That doesn't even make any sense.
Don't tell me, partner. I'm just a desk jockey who was on the way home when you rang.
The way you drove that car, I figured you were for the streets.
In my youth, partner. In my youth.
Author of Hostage Terrorist, A Terrorist Hostage, A Study in Duality, Dr. Hasseldorf, what can we expect in the next few hours?
Well, Gail, this time the hostages and the captor should be entering the final stages of their Helsinki syndrome.
As in Helsinki, Sweden.
Control room 247, Sam Shai shakes his head.
Finland. Basically, it's when the hostages and the terrorists go through a sort of psychological transference and projection of dependency.
Fritz drags Alice's body out of the office and throws it onto the floor. Over
What can only be described as a strange sort of trust and bond developed. We've had situations where hostages have embraced their captors after their release, and in one case, even corresponded with them in prison.
Hans turns, looks up at the ceiling. Too dim up there to see from here. He sighs, sets his gun down on a buttress, starts to climb up, not enjoying it. Act 250. Robinson looks at a young cop, reacts startled.
The FBI? Here? Now?
Yes, sir! Right over there!
Robinson looks at Powell, adjusts his clothing, fixes his tie.
You want a breath, man?
A big, dark government car.
Johnson.
They get out. One big black lit silhouette, one little one. I'm Special Agent Johnson of the FBI. This is Agent Johnson. No relation.
Really? That's what they go with?
Wayne Johnson, LAPD. They're in charge here.
Not anymore. As Robinson reacts, we go to the mechanical floor, tight on Hans. He checks the plastique. Not pleased. He turns, drops to the floor, low angle. He lands, knees bent, looks directly at a pair of bare feet. A gun barrel drops into the shot close to his head.
Lost!
New angle, a moment, and then Hans turns, looks up. The transformation in his expression and bearing are mind-boggling. Hands shaking, eyes filled with fear. He swallows, looks up at McLean, and in a perfect American accent says,
"Oh gosh, please, don't kill me. Don't kill me. You're one of them. I know it."
Whoa, easy, man. I won't hurt you. Who are you? What are you looking for?
The way to get up to the roof. I thought I could signal for help.
What are you doing?
Bro, forget it. They got a guy up there. You want to stay alive? Keep moving. Hey, you hear me?
You're an American.
You're an American. Only if New Jersey counts.
It works. The poor frightened civilian shows a hint of a smile. Cut to outside the building. Robinson in mid-speech to FBI.
We've got 30, maybe 35 hostages, probably on the 30th floor, 7, maybe 8 terrorists.
Who's Little Johnson?
Hey, sounds like a standard
person. It should be the same character as Big Johnson, because he says they're no relation, but it would be hilarious if they were pretty much the same person.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, but I feel like that's too many characters for me. Well, we can do whatever. Somebody should take over Big Johnson then.
I'll take. Who wants it? Who wants it? I'm not gonna hog.
I mean, I guess I could do it, but I don't know how many interactions he has with Powell.
I'll do it. All right.
Sounds like a standard A7 scenario. Thank you. We'll handle it from here.
We'll handle it from here. Oh, I see. Yeah. Go ahead.
We need to when we need to commandeer your men, we'll try and let you know.
He starts to move away with his partner.
Forgetting something? Such as John McClane. He's the man who gave us all this information we've got. He's the reason you're facing 7 terrorists instead of 12. He's inside. Who is he?
He may be a cop. We're checking on that.
One of yours?
No, sir.
If he's not a terrorist and not a hostage, he's just not part of the equation. That's the same damn thing the terrorists said. Really? That's one good thing. Sounds like we're dealing with pros.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right. Should we stop there, or do you guys want to keep going? It's 11:06 in your time.
Probably should
Seems
stop.
like getting
But I mean,
close.
we
How
could go
much?
maybe a couple more scenes or something.
I'll go as long as Clayton wants, because I know you got an early start, and it's not fair if I keep you up super duper late. Considering you're up this late with us now, it means a lot, man.
I feel like as fun as it would be, Clayton, just for your sake, it might help you to get some sleep, because you got to get to what time? 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're leaving off at scene. What is it, Mike?
We're at scene 262, the commuter floor. 262.
Check back, ladies and gentlemen, for the final installment of our Die Hard group read. This is anticlimactic itself. Check back next week for the final episode of Die Hard, and then we'll figure out what we're doing from there.
Hold on. And